Yeah, buddy, what is up? Welcome to Duct Tape Dynasty. I am the Duct Tape Dude.
I'm the dude.
And we're back, man. I tell you, it's been a week or two. I don't even know, maybe 3. Forgive us. This is an atypical offseason. I think I've said it every show we've had this offseason. We're usually a little more consistent, but not this year, not this time. So sorry about it, but here we are, and I'm excited to be here. I hope you're excited to be with us. Jump in those comments. Let us know you're here. And also, do us a favor before we get started. Minimize that screen. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. If you are, hit that like button. In fact, I'm going to hit the like button. Yeah, I can give myself a like. Whatever. Who cares? They all count, I think. So anyway, man, we got a good show for you. Got some funny things coming up. Got a new guest host extraordinaire to bring on and introduce, and we all get to meet him, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about it all, man, because Formula One is back. You know, every once in a while they got to transport these cars to and fro. We're about to start the European leg here, so had to move some cars from America to Europe, and so they took a week off, but we are back, baby. It is on. A couple practice sessions in the bank, and it is time to go. So anyway, you hear me saying we, you only see me. So let's bring him on. I talked about it before. Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Davis Jackson. Sir Davis, how are you, brother? Welcome to the show.
Doing great, Josh. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Dude, I'm pumped that you're here. A little offended by your shirt, I guess. You know, I would say I'm not going to hold it against you, but I have to because I'm a Carlos fan at heart, and Lewis ruined Carlos' career single-handedly. So are you literally a Lewis Hamilton fan before we even introduce who you are?
I am.
That's legitimate. So nobody like gave you that shirt. That wasn't you didn't win that somewhere on a show. So, no. Okay. No, you're a legitimate Lewis. I'm sorry about it. No, there's a few of you guys out there. There's quite a few Lewis Hamilton fans. There's not too bad of a driver from what I've seen. So now I haven't been around Formula One as long as you have. And you know what? We got to get the people to know who the heck you are. So first of all, though, let me exchange some pleasantries here and ask you, how's your week been? How's I guess it's kind of the beginning of your weekend. I think you get Friday off. So how's the week been? How's the beginning of the weekend?
Week's been really good. Today I spent my entire time doing yard work. So I capitalized on Friday so that I could watch qualifying and everything else this weekend.
Good. Did you watch any of the practice sessions, or do you kind of catch the highlights? Or how do you consume the practice rounds sessions?
Yeah, I typically try to catch 2 of the 3 most weekends, and if I don't catch it live, I have them all recorded, so I'll go back and watch them, dissect them a little bit.
Yeah. Have you watched any of them yet? You've been outside the whole time. Okay.
I've seen both practices today.
Okay.
With the anticipation of being on today, I had to do a little bit of homework.
Of course. Yeah, you got to get ready. So, yeah, we're out at Imola, which is, like I said, we're starting the European leg, although I don't know, the races we've had, have we had Europeans yet? We had Australia. I can't remember where all we've been so far, but have we had anything in Europe yet?
I don't believe so.
So, okay, maybe it is the official start of the European leg. But yeah, Imola this weekend. Then is it Monaco next weekend? What's coming up? Like it's on this stint. You know, I should have done a little better research. That's my bad. But
you're right. It's Monaco and Spain.
Yeah.
And then they come back to Canada.
Yeah. And then anyway, so, wow. Okay. So you, as the crew is amongst here, I mean, why would I have you on as a guest host if you weren't an F1 fan? Tell us how you got into F1. Those who have watched any of the F1 shows with me on them, of which when it comes to my YouTube channel, I'm pretty sure I've been on all my own F1 shows. Everybody knows I'm a Drive to Survive guy. Like I'm a product, if you will, of Drive to Survive. You, though, are not. How did you originally get into F1? And, just give us kind of your backstory on coming to the F1 and eventually becoming a Lewis fan, I guess.
Sure. Growing up, I was a big NASCAR fan. Being here in the States, watching NASCAR, I was a big Jeff Gordon fan. And when I got older, me and a buddy one year, it was 2018, 2019 time frame, just decided that we were going to pick a new sport and go all in on for a season and just see how it was. And so we picked Formula One. Racing is really what drew me towards it with my NASCAR background. And so started watching and immediately fell in love with Lewis Hamilton. And from my NASCAR background with Dale Earnhardt and Jimmy Johnson, guys who've won 7 championships, Lewis was hard not to like. And so that's where I landed with that one.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So, oh gosh, I can't think of a good follow up from there though. That's actually an okay reason to like Lewis, but like I said, I have to remain biased because of the fact that I'm a Carlos fan at heart, and Lewis stole my Ferrari seat, or Carlos's. I'll never have a seat anywhere near an F1 car.
I respect that. I totally respect that.
So, but I've adopted Piastri. He's my guy now. So,
Come on.
So you said since like 2018, you've been a fan. Now, are you still a NASCAR guy? Are you in all things motorsport, or is F1 just completely become the consumed formula, if you will?
Sure. Definitely elite motorsport. And so it quickly took the place of NASCAR, but I've been in a fantasy NASCAR league, I gotta admit,
Really?
for the last 10 years. And so I still do it. I catch every race, but Formula One, I don't catch NASCAR practices, but I watch most of Formula One practices. So I think that says a lot about where it lies in my heart.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So F1 is at the tops where it belongs. I'm just a F1 through and through. You know, I mean, I grew up watching NASCAR. You know, my stepdad was a NASCAR guy, so it wasn't on all the time, but it was on. You know, NHRA drag race and all those kinds of things were on. And I remember not knowing the difference. I didn't know until, shoot, it wasn't all that long ago that there was a difference between an Indy car and an F1 car. I figured they were all the same thing, and sorry about it, but I am a Drive to Survive product, and I tell you what, that documentary series by Netflix not only has been a home run through and through, in my opinion, but it has brought the sport that, I mean, had a massive following European wise, or at least overseas wise from the United States, but it has brought it to be mainstream on the States side. Do you agree?
Completely agree. I think one of the best things the sport could have ever done for the U.S. fanship, for sure.
Now, have you caught all the Drive to Survive stuff, or is it because of the fact that you've been a fan the whole time? You've just been watching the races and you don't need Drive to Survive? What?
Yeah, well, I did watch the first season, loved it. I thought they did a phenomenal job. And then I believe it was the second season that Lewis and Max had their issues there in that last race. And due to the shirt that I have on, I couldn't bear to watch that season, and then just kind of continued from there.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You said that was which season?
It was the season that Lewis was left out to dry in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, 2021, right? That was the 2021 receipt. Anyway, it was. But yeah, I've consumed every bit of Drive to Survive, and I can't get enough of F1. I'm still in that infancy stage with it, where it's honeymoon stage, I guess you'd say. Now, have you done anything besides watch it on TV? Have you been to a race or anything like that?
I have. I've had the privilege of going to 3 now COTA races in Austin, and it's an experience that everybody who's a fan definitely needs to take on some point.
Awesome. Now, have you done it? Did you do 3 different things, or did you do it the same way every time? I mean, were there lessons learned that you had that you corrected as you went along, or were there things that you messed up later on that you're like, no, we had it right the first time? Like, you know what, here, let me explain it this way. The cat is officially out of the bag that this year, my wife got myself and my 2 boys tickets to COTA, the very place you're talking about. So huge kudos to her, of which I hear that she coordinated with you to make sure that we weren't getting ripped off on tickets and whatnot. She was like, hey, I got to ask this guy who's actually been there.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So yeah, I guess what I'm getting at is, What are your lessons? How'd you do it? And what's the right way? Tell me what I need to know so that I get everything out of this first and maybe only COTA trip in my life.
Man, great question. Yeah, I definitely learned some things along the way. Um, Walking the entire track, just every day going. I was general admission every single time. I never bought a different ticket, and so that had access to everywhere. And so I just each day would kind of pick a new part of the track to really walk and watch the practices and things from. They've got events all weekend long that take place, which is really cool. And I would advise to be as a part of as many of those as possible, the F2 race, the F3 race, the ladies race, and so on. But then I think that, Josh, the biggest thing I learned was the best seat in the entire house is in turn one hill. And
Okay.
you have to show up at the crack of dawn on race day and sit through the brutal beating sun all day long for that 3 o'clock race start, but it's worth it, well worth it. So we bought an umbrella. We found our spot on the hill, and I mean, you've seen it. Once race comes,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
just a speck. You're an ant in the colony, and it's definitely worth it. You get to see those guys barrel through turn one, and there's always something that happens. It's worth it.
Okay. Okay. Well, there you go. That's exactly what I need to know. Um, it's to the point and fair enough. Yes. Turn one seems like as I've looked at it and done limited research and, watched some lessons learned from some other guys I've had on the podcast who've been to COTA and whatnot. Turn one was a definite, all right, I got to get there at some point. Now I didn't know that necessarily the race I should be there for okay, good. That's good to know. That's new info. The other one, the guys I had on who have also been to COTA before, they said what they term as the S's, just because the lateral side to side of the cars and how quickly they can shift direction, I guess, is just something I don't even know how to describe. Like, it's
Yeah.
undescribable. So, okay.
I would agree with that take as well. And they've got pretty good viewing spots in the grass for the S's where you can see quite a bit of it. Turn one, you have the pit lane. So you get to see a lot of the action that happens there. When I was there a couple of years ago, when Max had an 8-second pit stop, I got to see all that and kind of see it take and unfold. But the S is a great spot to be as well.
Okay. Now, do I need to be bringing binoculars and all that kind of stuff, or is there usually enough TVs and whatnot around to where I can?
A ton of screens.
Really? They do a pretty good job of that as well. Okay. Because go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. From the top of turn one hill, you can see that third sector in the back pretty well as well. So you get a decent view.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I can't remember what else I was going to say on that. Oh, I was going to say the consumability of F1 on the TV, which is all I know right now, is just so good. I mean, every option that they have is just unparalleled. I mean, the American creme de la creme of American sports, which draws the most attention is NFL. And I would describe what F1 does as if it's like they would have multiple cameras on every single player's helmet in the NFL, like the quarterback view, the receiver view, the lineman view, on each team, you could pick each player and you could hear them. It'd be the equivalent of having every player mic'd up and you could get your own broadcast and listen to / see the game through whatever player's eyes you want. That's what the F1 broadcast does, is it offers every perspective out there, every communication channel out there. I mean, I've just been consumed by it. I mean, it's phenomenal to consume. And so it's good to hear that the experience on track lives up to it as well. You know what I mean? Because nowadays it's the NFL, it's almost like it's better to consume on TV than it is to go in person, or football games. Yeah. So,
well, I won't lie to you. Like you said, the broadcast is phenomenal. There's so much of it that you miss throughout the race that you wish you could have. But the smells, the sound, it makes up for it.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I'm very, very excited about it. So, A lot more to come on that. And, you know, I have some Imola questions for you. I think you've got an Imola story for us, but I do want to hold off on that until hopefully I remember later on to talk about it, because that's the race this weekend. We are in Italy. So that's coming up. Again, I don't want to get ahead of us there, but I've got a whole slate of stuff for us here today. Some fun interactive stuff for the folks that are in the comments. I hope folks will chime in and give us their ideas on kind of some, I don't want to call it a quiz, but kind of a cool thing where you get to make some guesses. But before we do that, I wanted to throw up a few, you know, we never are able to put up clips and whatnot. So I've just got a couple fun things that most F1 fans have seen on social medias. You know, at some point, whatever your social media flavor is, if it's Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is, even Facebook, most people have seen stuff like this. But as we are kind of a new F1 show, I wanted to bring up some of these and laugh a little bit about it. Anyway, here's a video that I made earlier this week. It's actually had the advertisement for this show at the end of it, which I cut out of it now. But anyway, I'll just shut up. Here you go.
You see people at 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. in the morning doing what?
It's lights out, and away we go. Verstappen gets away well, as does Charles Leclerc. Perez is trying to cover him off, but he might be a bit too late. There might have been contact there as well. Carlos Sainz.
You see people at 4 a.m. and
Anyway, yeah, that's the classic, you know, because F1 being all over the world, you know, there's some crazy start times that people get up for, and I've been just as guilty as anybody else. What's the craziest time you've gotten up for or been up for the start of a race? We talking 2 a.m., all hours? I mean, what? Or do you have a cutoff of, hey, look, between these hours, I'm going to watch it late, or what?
You're going to expose me. Before this job, let me say that, before my job, there was no limits. It didn't matter the time. I actually looked forward to the midnight race, the 2 a.m., the 4 a.m. races. They were a lot of fun. But now I miss a lot of them due to just the nature of the job.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, Davis works at a church, which he works with my wife at the church. So that's how we met. And that's how found out that you were an F1 guy. I don't know, Mary saw you in a shirt or something someday and was like, hey, the new guy's an F1 fan. So I was like, well, introduce me. I got to find this guy.
Come on.
So anyway, so yeah, thus all the races being on Sunday, it does kind of figure that you're a little busy on Sundays and you can't necessarily pull those all-nighters anymore. But yeah, anyway. Nature of the beast, I guess. Nature of the beast. All right. So
sure.
The next thing I've got is actually a cool video of which I want to play the sound for. I can't because I know I'll get copyrighted for this one, but this is you know, at the beginning of the show, we have kind of the waterfall sort of thing that happens. It's the Matrix waterfall, right? Which anyway, this little gem came across my social media feed. And if you don't know your F1 drivers, of which there's only 20 in the world, so it's really easy for those who are F1 fans to remember the faces of each and every driver. You know, we know them all we don't even refer to half of them by their last name. We refer to every one of them by their first name, you know. Anyway, this is a little Matrix montage with, I'm sure it's AI generated, but if you know F1, you will definitely recognize some of these characters. And I'm going to pipe in our theme music for it, just so it's not Davis and I sitting here breathing into the mic during the video. So you at least have some noise, but it's not the actual Matrix music because, I'd get copyrighted. So anyway, here we go. So it's got Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc. Max Verstappen. So good, man. Fernando. Yeah. Toto. Anyway, there you have it. Had a little cameo by Seb there at the end. What did you think of the video, man? I know I sent it to you yesterday, day before, but is that, dude, who did that? Fan1.club on TikTok? Wow. That is a piece of work right there.
That's incredible. Is that AI? I don't even know. Very impressive.
I can only assume. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe they could have got those guys together and pulled that off. But either way, way impressive, way well done, and way cool, I think. And if you haven't seen the version out there on the socials with the Matrix music, it's even better because, of course, it's got the appropriate music with it. So be sure to check that out. That's on Fan1, I think, is what the TikTok is for that. Go back and watch it. It's in the corner. You know, it's got the little branding there. So this next one is by, I can't remember who did it. Lights Out F1 on TikTok. And this is an interactive portion for the folks in the comments. Let us know who you think these drivers are, if you can recognize them. Now, I have them numbered for Davis and my sake, so I can say, hey, we're on number 1, we're on number 2. These aren't actually the driver's numbers, which I probably should have done it that, whatever, it doesn't matter. Actually, if I'd done it that way, it would have given away who they are, so I can't do it that way. Anyway, so first up is, I think, a fairly obvious one, but Davis, number 1, did you get it right off the bat? Is it a fairly obvious one to you? I think it is.
Yeah, it definitely is.
And who is it?
I've got to go pull it up. You got me on that one.
Oh, come on, man. It's it's not Lance Stroll, I'll tell you that.
It is Fernando. Come on.
Fernando Alonso right there, and that is a fantastic. I don't know if I introduced it and said what it was, but these are all obviously drivers as Muppets. So Fernando Alonso there. If you don't know who the folks are, you get a pretty good idea just judging by their overalls there and what team they are adorned in. So this next one's fairly easy. I'm not going to sit here and make you guess all of them. But
it's
yeah,
Max Verstappen, right?
Yeah, right. In the Petronas stuff. Yeah. So George Russell there. Obviously, Kimi Antonelli. Now, there's some that don't have. Let's see if I can find one. Some that don't have the actual overalls, and so it's a little harder to guess on those ones. This is one of my favorites, though. Number 4. Yeah.
Hands down the best one.
That is definitely yeah, that's.
That was Stroll.
Yeah, that was Stroll. Anyway, there's Lance Stroll. He is a Muppet, man. Anyway, so many things I'd love to say. I'm just going to leave it alone at that. So, all right. So this next one is one that doesn't have the overalls on the fire suit. So number 5, do you recognize this guy? He kind of looks like a couple different guys. Who do you think this one is?
My guess is Toto Wolff.
Really? Toto Wolff. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty good guess. I'd also accept maybe Franco Colapinto. Does kind of look like a Colapinto. New guy out there this weekend, in fact, out on the grid.
Yeah, that's right.
Taking over for Jack. Poor Jack. But no, this is supposed to be Carlos Sainz. So That's the official answer. Now, again, I think it looks like Colapinto. It looks, Toto. It looks like all of them. So, yeah. So this next one's a little bit harder because you had to have known his hair from a couple seasons ago, or was it last year? I don't know. The blonde hair of Carlos Sainz's teammate, Alex Albon. So there you go. There's old Alex. Let's see. Here's one that you should recognize. Number 7, a man in red. Who's that?
The beautiful Lewis Hamilton with 10 watches on. I'm sure he has it on there.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's got 2 Ferrari emblems on his on his race suit and 2 Hewlett Packard emblems. So he's overdoing everything there. And then of course, little brother Charles Leclerc Charles Leclerc. I can't. How do you say it, man? I screw it up every time.
Man, I'm American through and through, Charles Leclerc.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's what I do. This one's a little bit harder if you don't know. Actually, this could go for probably either one of those guys. Number 9 for Haas. I mean, I'd say it could be either one of them. Do you have a guess on which one this actually is?
I've got to go Behrman.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Behrman. According to the TikTok account, it was Behrman. They had a version where it had the actual names listed on there, and I found this version which doesn't have the names, and so I figured that would be a little more fun for the folks that are in the comments, which I do see out there. Kev, what's up, man? Oh, Mountains of Montana. So I think that's Robbie. What's up? What is up? All right, so tell me who this next one is then, guys, in the comments. This is number 10, and, I mean, the overalls give it away, and then you look at the hair, but number 10, you guys in the comments, Davis and I will just shut up, and you guys tell us who this guy is. This should be a fairly quick one. Somebody's got to say it. Could you tell? I mean, the McLaren outfit, there's only 2 guys it could be. And so,
Of course. That's your soon-to-be favorite driver, from what I hear.
it is my favorite driver because my other guy got relegated to the to the Williams team. Sportniks Kevin says it's Lando, which actually is incorrect. That is Oscar Piastri. The only reason I know that is because that one, number 11, is Lando. And then number 12, Max Verstappen. It can only be Max Verstappen, although I don't know that his mustache is as solid as this mustache here, but maybe this is because of the fact that he's a new dad. They figured he should have a good mustache on him. So anyway, dude, what did you think about those things? I thought those were great. The Matrix thing and then this thing, I was like, man, this is like a great day in F1 internet. So
I agree. Completely agree. The Muppets, the Lance Stroll, you gotta love that part of it. And so it made it for me.
The Stroll Troll. Yes. I love it. I love it. Will Lance Stroll end up in the wall at some point this weekend? That is the question for you right now. What do you think? Yes or no? Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, dude. When in doubt, yeah, just bet Stroll in the wall. It's
But
probably gonna
he's
happen.
got to continue the legacy of the Mazepins, those guys of the world. There's always got to be one.
Oh
So
yeah, the
it's
Mazepins. You
Stroll's our
had
guy.
Latifi was out there for a while.
I was
Then of
blanking
course,
on him. Yeah.
yeah, we had of course our guy, the only American. Why can I not think of him
Sargent.
now? Sargent,
Yeah.
Logan Sargent. There you go.
That one
So
hurts.
yeah, it does a little bit. So. Kevin is saying Lando's disco ball helmet is number 1. What did you think of the disco ball helmet? Actually, what's your perspective on it from the Miami race?
It was different. I wish he'd focus a little bit more on his race starts and less on his helmet. But
Yeah, he definitely does have a good helmet game. He does take some pride in his helmets, which I appreciate because I'm a graphics guy. And so I like the helmets. I would say, though, the disco ball helmet was not my favorite. If you're going to do that for a race, that's a Vegas helmet. That's
Agreed.
that's way
Completely
more
agree.
Vegas than it is Miami. It should have been boats or something, I think. So thought it was a bit of a miss when he did his beach ball helmet a few years back for, I think, Miami. It was definitely Miami. That was a phenomenal helmet. I don't know if you remember that one, but it looked
Yeah,
like an actual
absolutely.
beach ball, had the wrinkles and stuff on it. Anyway, so cool. So this last Muppet, as we said, is the Max Verstappen. And again, like I said earlier about some of the videos that we're showing, they're videos that you've seen if you've been an F1 fan at all for any length of time, but not necessarily everybody in our audience has seen them. And so this next video I want to show is actually, it's commonly phrased or whatever on the internet as the day that Jos Verstappen realized he created a monster. And what it is, Jos Verstappen is Max Verstappen's dad. And so the video you're about to watch is actually okay. So before during race weekends, there's all sorts of attractions, like Davis was saying, at the track. And of course, for people of all financial backgrounds. There's things for folks like us, which is, hey, here, attend the race, right? And then there's stuff for the elite, which includes things like going into the pits and being able to sit there with the drivers. That's like $20,000 a ticket. So something that I won't ever be able to achieve. But one of the things they do is they do hot laps. And so that's a thing where, it's kind of usually a distinguished visitor, kind of a important VIP kind of person gets to get into a car, not necessarily an F1 car, but a racy car, and be driven around the course with one of the actual F1 drivers, which cat's out of the bag. They can drive those cars pretty darn fast too. Regular cars, not just F1 cars. So this is actually a video of Max Verstappen driving his dad around Belgium for the first time. And just pay attention to the look on Max's face, who is doing the driving. And I think he was like 17 or 18 years old at the time of this. And the look on his dad's face, his dad's the one who taught him how to drive. And really, I mean, it was kind of a rough, the way he did it. So I'm not saying that he did great things, whatever, but he did create a monster of a driver. So pay attention to the difference in the look on Max's face versus Joss's face. Joss is the name of Max's dad. And you could even, some other things to look out for at some point. You see Max's dad telling Max, like, hey, slow down, dude. And by the way, Max's dad used to be a Formula One race driver, right? He was in F1 as well. So he's used to speed. But anyway, all right, here we go. I've enough talking about it. Let's just watch it. And again, watch their faces. These are great. Looks over at him right there and was like, dude, slow down. There's still more gears. Anyway. Okay, one more time. I don't know. I might get a copyright hit on this one, so it's worth watching twice.
It's great. Even the hand across, the slow down.
Yeah.
You said.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, if you watch, Max is like blinking. He's like all very slow. Like he's almost falling asleep.
Max only knows one gear.
Yeah. He like almost fell asleep right there. It seemed like he's an absolute maniac, man. The guy is a monster. And the dear old dad got to find out what he made. So I love that video, man. Every time I see that, it's a great watch. It only takes a minute to watch it, but I love that one. So I'm sure you've seen it a million times, right? Everybody has.
I have seen it a few times.
Yeah. So anyway,
who wouldn't want to? You get an opportunity to show your dad what you're made of, especially coming from the legacy that he has. I would absolutely do the same.
Heck yeah, man! And I think that may have been the last time dear old dad went for a drive with old Max. So anyway, so all right, so what we have here, for those who don't know, the thumbnail had something on it about F1 Fantasy. Well, we do have F1 Fantasy League, of which Davis is a part, and And he's one of the 6 of us, of which there's at least one other that's watching right now, I believe. So let's find out how we did. So our last race we had was Miami, right? So race results. Let's go over it real quick, and I'll try to. Where are we at? We're at 38 minutes, so we're doing okay. Sorry, Davis, I'm not giving you a chance to talk at all, I feel like.
No, I love it. All good. I'm a part of the show right now. I'm locked in.
All right. Well, I'm sorry if I just keep blabbing and blabbing and blabbing. So I haven't had a chance to kind of get into a groove. You know, I said at the beginning of the show that this offseason has been just so not consistent that I haven't been able to get back in the groove. And so every time it feels like I'm kind of fumbling around, and I get to the end of the show and I go, did I even let the other guy talk? Like, what happened? So
I haven't noticed it all.
no,
So.
well, because you haven't been able to talk. So no, I'm just kidding. All right. So the race results of Miami, I should have gone to the starting grid first, but I didn't. Here we are. So my boy, of course, as I said, my adopted driver.
He's so good.
He is so good, man. Oscar Piastri, in 50-something starts, hasn't even had 60 starts, now has more race wins than Lando, who came in second there. So neither of the McLarens is doing bad, but Oscar has, for lack of a better term, hit another gear this year. Is that fair to say?
Completely agree. He has a champion mentality with the consistency that he races with, and it's impressive.
And now he's got the car. He's got the championship car, and he definitely does. I agree. He has a champion's mentality. And watching him take on Max in the last few races, which those who may not have followed along in the last few shows, Oscar Piastri, which is the guy that won this last race, he's won the last 3 races in a row. And he's just barely outside of a rookie. Like, he's not, last year wasn't his first year or anything like that, but he is new, and he is tearing it up. So the 2 McLarens come in first, second. That's Oscar and Lando. George, Mr. Consistency this year. I know he's your favorite driver. No, he's not. Comes in third, gets another podium. I don't know if that's his third, fourth. I don't know how many podiums that's been for him, but he's been having a year. Then Max, who's always around. But go ahead, please say something about George. What?
I was just gonna say, it makes you wonder where that Mercedes team would be if Lewis was still there.
Well, who knows? Apparently, Lewis is not having too great of a time in that Ferrari car, of which that's a video I wish I would have saved and put on here. Is the video I made of Lewis griping and complaining in Miami about not being able to pass his teammate. And anyway, I've got to throw shade at Lewis because everybody is a fan of Lewis. I honestly have nothing against him. He's a 7-time world champion. The dude is an absolute machine out there. But like I said, he took my driver's spot. So I've got to throw shade at Lewis at any opportunity. All right, so 4th place, Max Verstappen, the 4-time world champion, who continues to just dominate no matter what kind of car they give him. He's in a 3rd place car, and he's got like all but 2 of their points for the team this season. And we'll see where the team is in the standings overall, with just Max pretty much being the only one scoring. So Williams does manage to crack the top 5. Unfortunately, it's not my boy Carlos Sainz. It is Alex Albon, who I got nothing against. Then you got Kimi Antonelli, who I got to admit, he's the guy who's sitting in that vacated seat from Lewis, and he's been tearing it up, man. He's a good little driver. Like,
very impressive season.
Yeah, I was... When I heard Toto was going with an 18-year-old, I thought, okay, this is the end of Mercedes. Like Toto's finally just given in to the Christian Horner thing, and like, fine, I'm just gonna go out and get my own Max Verstappen kind of thing. You had Red Bull with Max, then you had Oscar going to McLaren, and it was like, all right, Toto's now gonna jump on this bandwagon. Well, this guy's working out. Antonelli's a little driver, man. He's fun to watch.
He might become a little Piastri here before long and start beating Russell consistently. I wouldn't be surprised.
I would not be surprised. I think that's a great call. That's a great call because George, yes, is a good driver, but I mean, Antonelli's been in the car for 6 races and look at him go. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So the 2 Ferraris stack up. Unfortunately, your boy was in the back of the Ferrari stack there. So we had Charles, then Lewis, 7 and 8, and then there's Carlos in 9 with the other Williams. So 2 Williams up in the points, which is kind of surprising to see. And then Yuki grabbing that last point. And for those who are saying what points, what, I think I've got the actual, the points breakdown. So this is actually the points breakdown from this race. So this is these drivers with their points. But it also shows you kind of how the points break down. So first place finish gets you 25 points. Second place gets 18. Points are on the right side of that graphic, or right here. Yeah, you get it. Then you got 15, 12, 10, 8, something like that. 6, 4, 2, 1. That's the points breakdown. So that's the way it worked out. Any surprises for you in that top 10? I mean, that's a fairly strong top 10. We missing any teams out there that we expected? You got McLaren, right? You've got Red Bull, you've got the Mercs, you've got Ferraris.
I'd say I'm surprised to see the Aston Martins not perform as well.
Okay.
Fernando seemed to do phenomenal the last 2 seasons. Maybe it was just the one. But they're definitely going the other direction.
Yeah. Now
Williams has been impressive. Albon can drive that car really well, and it's clear that Carlos is starting to come to terms with it because he's putting in some good laps and good results. So I'm excited to see where that team gets.
Yeah. I'm happy to see him doing at least okay because he went from the front of the pack team to a back of the pack team. And if you haven't been paying attention to the show thus far, I'm a little bit upset about it. But yeah, the good call on the Aston Martins. I mean, we know Stroll's not going to do anything, but Fernando and that Aston, 2 years ago, I think it was, he had, just the start of the century, second place, I think, in the first race or something like that. It was awesome. And he was on the podium like a few times in those first few races. But they do have the aerodynamicist extraordinaire coming to them for next season, which is he actually over there already? I don't know how the whole thing works. But Adrian Newey. So there's so much to F1, and one of the things is the design of the car, of which aerodynamics is so important, and the greatest aerodynamicist in the business is going to work for that very team, which Davis is speaking of, known as Aston Martin. So, all right, there we go. So there's the race result points, driver standings for the year. My adopted driver, Oscar Piastri, I want to just claim him straight up and be like, I have liked him ever since he came onto the grid, but I was a Carlos fan first. I can't just totally sell out yet, but my adopted driver, Oscar Piastri, he's got a good lead now. Not insane, but he's got a good lead. 15, 16 point lead, 16 points. Yeah. Over his teammate Lando Norris. Then you've got Max there in third. And then Mr. Consistency this season, George Russell, Charles Leclerc.
He's right there.
He is only 6 points behind Max Verstappen, which is pretty impressive. So there you see it, the breakdown. Excuse me. Sorry about it. And I only went down to 10th place there because Lance Stroll, I didn't want to, for those who don't know.
I'm surprised he has 14 points.
I am too. I'm surprised he has any. And the reason that I'm not showing any other drivers is because I don't want to do them that dirty and show them behind Lance Stroll. I mean, it's bad enough to have to show Lance Stroll's name on there in regards to being anywhere other than last, but I don't want to further insult the other drivers who are behind him right now. And now I've lost my mouse. Where is my mouse? Come on. Oh, this is good. This is real good. The show's gonna. Where is my mouse? There we go. We're back. All right. Sorry about it. Well,
it does. It fills my heart, Josh, that you like Oscar, because although I am a Lewis fan, McLaren is the team that I picked when I first joined. They were kind of mid-table at the time. That's a soccer term for you. They're mid-table,
sure,
but
yeah.
We're on the top now, and it's been great. And Lando's been my guy for McLaren, but it's been frustrating with the starts, and so I'm just happy we're 1-2, and hopefully we can finish it out.
Yeah. Well, boy, I tell you, I would love to see Oscar Piastri win the championship this year. I mean, come on, let's go for it, because who knows what happens next year with the regulation change. Not even to get into what that means. That's coming into a later date. Become an F1 fan, and you will understand what that means. So let's look at the constructor standings. If you don't know what that means, we'll explain it to you some other time. It's more about F1 as you get more into it. But bottom line is there's 20 drivers, 2 drivers for each team. So simple math, that means there's 10 teams. The teams are known as the constructors. So even though I said that you were basically going to have to figure it out yourself, I just explained it to you. So there you go. The constructors are the teams, and it's the combined points total of their 2 drivers. So there you go. McLaren in first, Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari. You guys can read. Yeah, so the way that worked out for us in our fantasy F1, which, again, that's the thumbnail that I was talking about earlier. It said fantasy F1 on the thumbnail. It's like, well, we haven't talked anything fantasy. What are you talking about? Well, we created a little fantasy league here, and that's what that's the excuse for having the show. It's really just a fun competition among some F1 fans, and something to get a group chat going. And I don't know, I'm having fun with it so far this year. I don't know what you think about it, but hopefully you're enjoying it. It's got you out here.
Been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you're part of it. So the way it worked out for this past race in Miami was what it looks like. Okay, so everybody represented by a different color. There are 6 of us. So the blue color there, that's Kyle. I am the green. The orange is my son, Landon. The yellow is this guy right here, Davis. The pink is Robbie, who's Mountains of Montana in there. And then the red is Dave, who should be in the comments, but is not. Anyway, so we go by grid slots, and then wherever the drivers happen to qualify, those are our drivers for that particular race. So we don't have drivers picked out ahead of time. In fact, we have no call over who our drivers are going to be for the race as far as the fantasy comes. What we did is we drafted tracks earlier on, or grid slots. And so there's 6 of us. There's 24 races. That means 4 times throughout the year, each of us will have, or maybe a better way to say it is, each of us will have 4 times throughout the year where we have the pole position, which is where Kyle is for this last race, that first place, the blue checkered flag thing there. So he had Verstappen, I had Norris, then there was Antonelli. You guys can see them all going down there. And I won't read them all to you, but the way it worked out is here, points-wise. So there you go. There's the different drivers broken down by the points that they scored during the race. And so this kind of, if you haven't been following along, just go back, rewind just a little bit, and you'll see that the drivers, depending upon where they finish, they score a certain amount of points, and basically whatever points they score is what we get based upon which drivers we had for that race. So there you go. I hope that made sense. It makes sense to me. But there's the breakdown. Not to make you all do math in public, I'll just bring it up this way, and it's a lot easier to understand. You, sir, actually took the week by yourself, a lone win by 4 points over Robbie. You had 25, and that was courtesy of my guy, Oscar Piastri, right? So I'm just going to start claiming him now, straight up. No more adopted driver. My guy, Oscar Piastri, got you 25 points. I can't even remember who the other one you had. You had Ocon.
Ocon.
Yeah. So yeah, that's not ever going to get you much. So
No.
But nonetheless, on top of the points this week with 25, there's Robbie with 21. The point spread was actually pretty close, except for, Landon having a bit of a tough go at the beginning of the season here. So he's had 9. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. I think he had a week with 0, but I was looking at it. He was in town over the last weekend, and we were looking at it, and all his pole positions, like we said, everybody gets 4 per season. All his are at the end of the year. So he's going to be riding the tails of this thing the whole way, and then he's going to make a last minute. Let me just put it this way. He'll make a 2021 Max Verstappen push right past Lewis Hamilton on the last lap to take the championship. So there you go.
Take the knife out, Josh.
Yeah, dude. Sorry. Like I said, Lewis Hamilton, not my guy right now. So yeah, but anyway, Landon, only 9 points.
I think that's the fun part about the league and the way you've set it up. It's brilliant. It is really what it is, and it gives it on any given week. Anything can happen. Piastri won from 4th, but later in the season, those pole positions are going to be huge because the constructors at that point, you kind of know what you're going to get. And I think that little bit of consistency is going to help Landon out a lot.
Yeah, I think that's a good take by you as well. And actually, coming on to the whole importance of pole positions, I think the race with the most important pole position is not this one, but next one. Right. Monaco, of which Dave has pole position for that. Dave being the second to last right here. Monaco is what I term, or you often hear me refer to as a parade rather than a race, because kind of however they qualify is kind of how they parade around the track. There's not a whole lot of jockeying around Monaco that happens because it's a very tough track to pass on. This track this year is actually this week is a tough one to pass on as well, because I think Imola was, it used to be just a street, like it was the streets of Italy, right? I think it used to be just streets going through a neighborhood, and now it's a racetrack. I
actually didn't know that.
I may be way off. I think I heard that during one of the practices today. So
sure.
Yeah. So anyway, let's break down the year, how it works out now. So we talked about the week, and we've talked about the points and how we're all going to have so many pole positions. The year now, as it has worked out, is still pretty tight. Up at the top, you've got in podium positions, if you will, Robbie with 120. Then you've got Kyle right behind him, just 3 points back at 117. What am I, 8 points back of that? I math in public, I'm not very good at it. But with 109, then you've got yourself at 85. Dave right behind you at 83. Landon struggling there at 55. But like we were saying just a second ago, he's got pole positions coming up late in the season. Like the last 3 races, I think, are like all his pole positions. So anyway, that's where we are for the year. And everybody hasn't had an equal opportunity just yet. So this will go all the way to the end. It doesn't matter how far out anybody is at any given time until this baby's over. It ain't over till it's over, right?
That's right.
So, and actually, let's talk about this next race. We said Imola. I made up something about it being the streets of Italy at one point through the whatever. You heard it. I don't know if that's true. I think it is, but but for the like we said, we drafted grid positions. So here's the grid positions for this week. And as you see, it just says driver on there because qualifying hasn't happened. Now, the color of the flags won't change because that's where it is. Whoever qualifies in first, the guy who has the red flag, which is Dave, he gets that driver in first place. Whatever points they score, he scores. If they win the race, he gets 25 points. If they crash out, he gets 0 for that driver. He also has the 12th driver. Anyway, there you go. You see the breakdown of it, but Dave on pole, Kyle in second, myself in third, Landon fourth, yourself fifth, and then Robbie there was sixth, and then it just mirrors itself on the way back down. So did you find the answer to that? Was Imola a city streets kind of thing? I heard you clack.
I didn't find the answer.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
They said it was originally used for motorcycle racing, but I
Okay.
couldn't see anything further than that.
Well, then, my bad. I maybe just made it up. I don't know. I swear I heard it, but anyway, so there
I
you
would
go.
believe it. There's houses there.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so this is the grid for that we, like I said, we don't know who we are going to have just yet. We'll find out tomorrow, right? Is today Friday?
9 a.m.
Today's Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tomorrow morning we'll find out who's in what position, what drivers we're going to have for the race, and we'll see where we go from there. So now Imola, you have a story about Imola though, right? That's the race that we're at this week. You want to tell us your quick Imola story here?
Sure. I had some friends that lived in Bologna, which is just outside of where that racetrack is, and kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity. It booked a flight, bought race tickets. I had grandstand tickets, believe it or not. It was very affordable in Europe versus the US. And essentially what I paid for my general admission in Austin is what I paid for a grandstand ticket in Imola. So just put that in perspective. And the week of, the rains came pouring out and they canceled the race. I couldn't tell you the last time they canceled a race. That was a race I was going to go to, and I did not end up going. So
man,
pretty big bummer there.
That is a huge bummer, and I'm sorry to kind of end on that note because we're almost done with the show. I should have got that up front and got it out of the way, but yeah, I mean, you were dang near at this very race, so sorry about it. Yeah, you got rained out big time. I mean, I think it was flooding, right? The track was underwater. It was
underwater, which would give evidence to it being an actual street area, because these tracks drain incredibly well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe we'll find out later. But one other thing that we have before we get going here at the end is the race preview. So everything you want to know about this racetrack, as well as what's going on with the weather coming up, how many passes there were last year, et cetera, comes to us from our friend Coffee Corner Motorsports, Coffee Corner Terry, just a friend of mine over in the UK who is an F1 aficionado, knows everything about everything with F1, and he does a race preview before every week's race, or every week that we have a race. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. And so this is the preview for this week's race. I'll just let Terry do the talking and you guys do the watching, and we'll be right back with you in just a second.
It's time for your quick guide to this weekend's Imola Grand Prix. We've got a track length of 4.909 kilometres, 63 laps, and a race distance of 309.049 kilometres. The track is home to just one DRS zone, which is of course located on the start and finish straight. 2024 saw 29 overtakes happen, and the lap record was set by Lewis Hamilton back in 2020 with a 1 minute 15.484. A pit stop at Imola will take around 28 seconds, and Pirelli will be hoping the introduction of the C6 tyres, which is of course the softest they've got available, which will be alongside the C4 and the C5 compound tyres, will spark a two-stop strategy this weekend. The safety car percentage is currently sat at 50%, and onto that all-important weather. We currently have on Friday for free practice 1 and free practice 2, overcast from midnight to dawn with a moderate chance of light rain until 8 a.m. in the morning, and improvement expected then with a sunny and mainly dry day. There will be moderate north-easterly wind with gusts of up to 35 km per hour until the mid-afternoon before they decrease off. A chance of rain is currently 40% and a maximum temperature of around 19 degrees for Friday. Saturday and FP3 and qualifying. This will see a partially cloudy at first, becoming mainly sunny, with a few cumulus clouds in the afternoon. This will then also be accompanied by a light southwesterly wind, back in easterly in the afternoon, and a chance of rain less than 20% as of the moment. A maximum temperature of 21 degrees, which does of course leave us onto that all-important race day and Sunday's weather forecast. It will be sunny at first, becoming partially cloudy from noon onwards, a slight chance of 1 or 2 showers up to level 3, spreading from inland hills from 1 p.m. up until 8 p.m. There will be a light southwesterly wind and a race start temperature of 22 degrees Celsius with a 20% chance of rain.
Oh, there we go. That's the end of it. Sorry, I do that every time I start watching it over on the YouTube feed, which is 20 seconds behind. And I'm like, why'd he stop talking? I could see his mouth moving. And yeah, anyway, you get it.
He's so impressive.
Oh, Terry?
What he does is just phenomenal.
Yeah, he's a wealth of, dude, and he just knows that stuff. Like he consumes it, digests it, and retains it. Like wow. Anyway, good dude, really hard to understand if you're American. If you live over there, he's not hard to understand, but fortunately, like I say every time, he always puts the captions up there, which helps out a lot of people. So I managed to be able to understand him, but a lot of people can't. A lot of people stateside can't. So, and he knows it, so he puts the credits or the captions out there. Anyway, all right, dude. So, any predictions from you for this week? I think he said there were 10 passes, 10 overtakes last year or something like that. So not a big passing track. It's going to come down a lot to qualifying. Anybody going to get out in front of the papaya, the McLarens?
I don't think so. I think we saw the true hand in Miami, and I think it's going to look very similar.
Yeah, Oscar was on it for the first two practices. Wasn't he fast lap in each of the first two? I think he was.
Yeah, he was. They were both right there.
Yeah, so more from the McLarens, more from the papaya, as long as they can keep it on the track. As he said, there's, a 40% chance of rain, I think he said on Sunday. Maybe, I don't know. I was supposed to be paying attention, but I was looking at other things. So anyway, if it's a wet race, anything goes. But yeah, it's... they're fast right now, man. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, and the thing too that I find interesting is the practices. If you look at the last couple of races, they're pretty close with the other constructors, but their ability to manage that tire wear, is just, it's out of its league right now. It is.
They've figured something out that nobody else has, and there's two ways that and one of them is that. Their performance, but the other one is the teams are griping about it. So they're all saying they're doing something illegal. That's when they got something good figured out. So until everybody else figures out what they're doing and changes their style to get there, we're going to keep seeing more of the same, I'd say. So anyway, dude, so there you go. That's a wrap. That's an hour and 5 minutes. For those who don't know, this is I've got our socials slide up here. Just screenshot right here on this slide and go back in your pictures at any point after the show. Just hold your thumb on any one of those QR codes and it'll take you to where they go. Obviously, the YouTube one goes to the YouTube page, and the Coffee Corner Motorsport one down on the bottom, that's Terry's page, the guy who just did that race update, the wealth of information. Go give him a follow out there on TikTok. He is... an incredible wealth of information, and the dude's wardrobe, his F1 wardrobe he's got to have $4 million worth of clothing, because the price of F1 paraphernalia is out of this world. And every time I see him, he's got a new piece of F1 something on, and it's all the good looking stuff too. So, some stuff that I pay attention to, whatever. So anyway, dude, what'd you think? Your first show, like I said, I don't know if I gave you a chance to talk much, but here you were, there we were. And I don't know. I thought you did great. I enjoyed having you on. Did you enjoy being on? And what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I loved it. Thank you again for having me on. You keep saying that, but I thought it was seamless. The whole show ran really smooth, and you make it easy as a guest to be a part of it. So thanks for doing that for me.
Guest host. You're not a guest, my friend. You are part of this crew.
You set me up very well at the beginning too. I don't know if I could live up to the standard you said I was, but I appreciate it.
Well, see, I don't even remember what I said, so there you go. I'm just kidding. Anyway, dude, no, hey, I not only appreciate you coming on here, being part of the F1 thing. I appreciate you as a friend. Don't get all emotional on me. Don't start crying. But I do, and especially having another F1 guy around, whatever. It's always good. So
I look forward to seeing you anytime I do.
Yeah, there it is. So, we still got to figure out how we're going to watch F1 on that giant 90-inch or 90-foot wide TV or whatever that is. We got to have that done by the end of this season. Plenty more races to
Agreed.
go, but we need to figure that thing out. Anyway, I'll explain to the folks at a later time, later date, what I'm talking about there. But this is the part of the show I didn't explain to you. We're going to have music again. It's going to go to the credits. You and I are going to be able to see each other, but not really hear each other. And I'll try to say goodbye to you there, and we'll get going. So any last things for the folks? Anything for anyone before we get the heck out of here?
Man, try to see your race before you you go into the ground. Go watch a race. It's awesome. It's a great experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm about to find out this year, and I am excited about it. So I just got to survive till mid-October. So, yeah, don't do anything too stupid till then. Like I said, man, I appreciate having you on. You're a great guest host. You're a great dude, and we'll have to do this again sometime.
Thanks again.
Yeah, dude. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Like I said, I'll say goodbye in just a second. But for everybody else out there that's watching, we appreciate you. We love you all. You're all the absolute best. And until next time, we'll see you.